Making a video. It's cold out here. Yeah, it's cold. It's almost May. This weather's horrible. So I guess that's what it's going to be like. You know, we're just in the El Nino thing or something. So we're going to get the cold shit for a few years, and then we'll get the hot shit. But anyway, just don't care for it. I'm really in the mood for some summer. This ain't summer. Professor Anton. Okay, so he added in on this whole spiritualism bullshit or spirit science conversation that's involved concordance and to be serious and Piro and me. So, you know, it's expanding, it's two circles expanding into each other, so to speak, two different conversations. But whatever, I'm just so sick of this shit. This isn't that complicated. Being reasonable is not a complex subject. There's reasonable theory and unreasonable theory. And, you know, we've nailed down some of this stuff. And the whole thing is just idiotic. Yeah, there is a problem with science, okay? So this relates to the amazing atheist point about the fact that science is being doubted by people. Well, partly because, yeah, what scientists have sold out to the capitalist, and then they've gotten themselves involved in things like Fukushima. And so, of course, people are becoming skeptical of science because they're skeptical of the motivations of the scientists. But, you know, the other half of that argument would be that this is just evidence of the fact that people don't like reality, and so they just keep running to fables. That's why religion's still alive when it should be long dead. That's a viable, reasonable theory. The facts of our existence have been nailed down in so many respects. We know where we came from, okay? We're biological organisms built on a framework of consumption and reproduction. Let's not even go into the other aspects, but yeah, that's the basic format. Your whole structure is just a kind of membrane, all right, that has been equipped with tools to get a tiny little part of you, you know, either your egg or your sperm, into a state where it can create another version of you. But that's it. Your whole structure, everything about you, your brain, your vision, your senses, all of it, just exists as tools, okay, to propagate in a long-term effective manner over, you know, hundreds of millions of years of evolution, to get you into the future, in the sense of the you being a code, a line of genetic chemical code, okay, that merely causes a phenomenon that creates the growth, okay, the growth of a seed that just merely contains a cause and effect chain. It merely causes for 9 months the development of your structure, of this armor, of your toolkit. It just makes the tools. It has the code for making the tools that again will surround another genome, another, pointing to my nuts, okay, another tiny bit of me. That is all this is for, okay? This doesn't exist for that. That is it. That's the ball game. Yeah, this does exist for that. I don't mean that doesn't exist for this. So, you know, this whole inane conversation about our spiritual anything or origin anything, it just doesn't matter. So yeah, let's say another reason science is in disfavor with humans or people is because, yeah, it's gotten so complex. The amateur can't just play with science anymore because the amount of knowledge and specialty you have to have the broadness of your understanding to understand many sciences, or to put all the pieces together, is daunting. It's daunting, and you have, and the complexity of it is difficult. I could reference the 100-year-old, more than 100, whatever, 20-year-old, 100 anyway, two-slit experiment. And it still hasn't been properly analyzed. Because there's so much to do, and there's so much difficulty and precision that has to be built into any tools you build to analyze phenomenon. But we can say it's not ghosts. We certainly know that the reliability of these stories, that are thousands of years old, is nothing. It's like showing up at a car accident an hour later and listening to some guy who's, gotten the story from 5 or 10 other people, and he starts talking about the big giant duck that flew down and crushed the car. And what he means is the truck, but now it's a giant duck. Means he got the story wrong. Ugh. So I don't know. It just makes me so. It's so irritating because this is not. We should be able to do a hell of a lot better than this as conversation. Professor Anton's video was a freaking half an hour, and he didn't say a goddamn thing. He basically just said, well, spiritual mumbo jumbo is pretty silly, some of it, but you gotta have a little bit of it. Yeah, a little bit of it's good. The idea of it's good, but just don't do it really. Yeah, just talk about doing it, but don't do it. Or something like that. The end. Fuck. Only do it my way. Only think words are special. Don't think anything else is special. Just think words are special. I don't know what the fuck these people are talking about. This is not a rational conversation about a phenomenon that doesn't exist, doesn't even have a definition. Spiritual. Spirit science. Yeah. Yeah, we're made by the divine eternal what? Duck? The big giant mechanical duck made us? Shit. You can observe the universe and realize it's all made out of elements, mostly. It's all chemistry. And all the chemistry, most 99.99% of the chemistry, is really simple chemistry. Okay? And it's only in bizarre circumstances, like here, where the chemistry has time and the mechanism of replication to do this silly thing of putting a big giant facade of bullshit on top of a fucking sperm cell. Yeah, okay, that's interesting, but it's stupid. It's parasitically stupid. It's a dumb microbe banging into something and spinning around and then banging into it and then spinning around. That's it. That's what the universe does. It doesn't do anything smart. It's just made out of shit, banging into stuff. Oh, fuck. And so we're just, it's just that, we've got these complex tools, and we have, what's the word for that feedback thing, that infinite feedback. We have infinitely feedbacked our own bullshit. And so we've made like golden bullshit to put on the bullshit. And then we're putting double gold bullshit on that bullshit. But it's all made out of the bullshit. It's just recycled bullshit. So what else do I want to say here? Yeah, the realm of reasonable is getting smaller and smaller. That's the thing we should be saying The realm of reasonable belief is getting smaller, not bigger. And all we can, the details are, the stuff we don't know is almost, you could argue, superfluous. We don't need to know it. We don't need to know whether it's a big bang or a big crash or a big implosion or a big explosion. You just don't need to. Because we know this mechanism. We know why we have senses. We know why our psychology works the way it does. It's because of the niche our kind exploited. And that's it. There's no other reason. There's no other mechanics to this system. It just makes stuff because of incidental associations. Incidental is a tricky word. Just because of the fact that it does have, that's doing this movement through time thing. And it'll have to have a pattern as it moves through time. There's no choice. It has to do something because it is something now. So the fact that there is something doesn't mean that something is doing something besides the default, which is it has to do something. It can't do nothing. And so this is what it turns out to be. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't have any grand purpose. It's not going anywhere. It's not going to escape. We are not going to escape the dynamics of the universe. Professor Einstein brought like black holes and why light doesn't escape. Light doesn't. That is a fallacy of the imprecision of the physics again. Light doesn't escape because light gets eaten. The black hole changes the matter. It converts matter into energy and absorbs it. That's why the light doesn't escape, because the light isn't produced. You can't produce light in a black hole because nothing that would produce light can exist, because all the matter is converted into energy. I mean, it's just... So the scientists just fall into this. They don't mark. That's probably the key thing. Every statement a scientist makes should be labeled and marked with a confidence code or something. On a scale of 1 to 100 or something. A credibility code. Something to indicate, look, I'm just making shit up, versus, oh shit, there's no other conclusion. These are two different things. The fact that our structure exists as toolkit to in a very specific manner replicate one cell in my body is a fact of 99.99999% certainty. Okay? There's no doubt about it. It's a certain fact. What happens to matter as it encounters the event horizon of a black hole is theory of at least 50%. You could, well, whatever. I'm just saying that's all. We need some kind of distinction between when scientists are talking out of hard evidence, solid evidence, and when they're talking out of, well, let's theorize, let's speculate. Some sort of speculation factor. It's no longer speculation. Evolution is not speculation. It's fact. And if you deal with that fact rationally, in perspective of all scientific knowledge, nowhere is there room for spiritual mumbo jumbo. There just isn't any room for it in a rational interpretation, reasoned interpretation. Only accepting babble or nonsense or made up crap or Bugs Bunny theory. Only by listening to the guy talking about the giant duck that crushed the car can you possibly find cause or reason to believe in a giant duck. I wanted to do this better, so I'll have to redo it a few million more times. Like, come on, people, get rational. Anyway, till next time.